What's up, lovelies? Today I'm coming at you from in my car. I got a lot going on, traveling a lot these next 2 weeks, and I just want to make sure I get these videos to you in the best way that I can. So today we're going to be talking about 4 things that drastically changed the quality of my life, and I want to share them with you because I know that it can change the quality of your life as well. So the first thing that seriously started me on this amazing journey was realizing that I could be wrong. It was realizing that the thoughts and beliefs that I had didn't necessarily have to be true, and that just because I thought them didn't mean that that's what the reality was. And it was when I decided that I was going to rewrite those beliefs and make new beliefs and open my mind and perspective up to the idea that I could be wrong about things and that there was this whole other way of looking at life. That's when I allowed this new life to come into my life, and it changed everything. And so now I'm not so stubborn. I don't think as small. Now I'm very open to other people's perspectives. I'm open to the idea that maybe I don't know as much as I think that I know, because if I can swap out an old sabotaging belief that put me down and made me feel powerless and victimized, if I can swap that out for a belief that makes me feel empowered and makes me feel like I'm in control of my life and allows me to change my life for the better, then I'm always going to do that. And that's not something that I knew was even a mindset that I could have. I thought that my beliefs were me. I thought that if I let go of beliefs, then who am I? If I don't believe in that thing, if I don't have this point of view, then who am I? And when we let go of those beliefs, it's very scary sometimes because it puts us in the state of unfamiliarity, and we don't like that. But it's in that sort of gray area that you give yourself the space to create this new life. It's like starting with a blank canvas and choosing to create a masterpiece. So that's something that really drastically changed my life. That was the first step, was choosing to believe that I did not have to stay a prisoner to my thoughts in my mind and beliefs that were put on me for generations and by society and just things that didn't serve me. So the second thing that changed my life so much and helped me connect in my relationships in ways that I didn't even think was possible is radical honesty. So I used to be somebody who was very afraid to, I always had an opinion, but I used to be somebody who was afraid that if my opinion was different from the person I was speaking to, that they might get upset, and I didn't want people upset at me. And, I wouldn't tell people difficult things. I wouldn't tell them if I was, if maybe I didn't agree with something fully. I mean, I had no problem telling my dad that, hi dad, but with other people, I feel like I just didn't want to ruffle any feathers. And so radical honesty is me choosing to say how I feel, obviously with love, but it's just it made such a difference, because when you can tell somebody what you're feeling and not have to apologize for it, it changes something. It gives you a voice. It gives the feeling a voice as well, and it validates you without somebody else have to validate you. So radical honesty is me telling somebody hey, that upset me, or look, I'm not okay right now, I need a moment, and it's sharing with somebody yeah, I could see how you would think that, but I don't personally agree with that mindset. And radical honesty has even transformed all of my relationships, because in being this way, that means that the people who are in my life right now who chose to stick around after me being radically honest with them, that means that they're sticking around for me. They love me the way that I am. I'm not pretending to be somebody else anymore. And that changed everything, because now I can tell them without shame, I'm not okay, I'm not doing well, I need a moment. Or, no, I don't like when you do that. That hurt my feelings. And I don't have to worry about them leaving. And if they did decide to leave, then I would know that means that this person isn't capable of adhering to my needs and accepting me as I am. So I wouldn't want them in my life anyway if it means me having to pretend and fit a mold that they want me to fit. So radical honesty is something that I would suggest everyone do, because if you don't, you're doing yourself a disservice by pretending to be somebody that you're not for the sake of somebody else. And every time you do that, you're telling yourself that you're not as important as this other person who you are changing yourself for and quieting and silencing yourself for, just to not ruffle some feathers. And I just want to note here that you cannot be radically honest with everybody, because not everybody deserves to see the depths of your soul. That has to be something that is equally worked at. So like, you show me yours, I'll show you mine. Like, you peel back a layer, I peel back a layer. You want to make sure that whoever you're being radically honest with is meeting you halfway. Like I said, not everyone deserves to see the depths of your soul. And radical honesty is a beautiful thing, because there's nothing left in you that you're ashamed of. There's nothing left for you to hide. Like, when me and Chris decided to be radically honest with each other, everything came out. And that means, okay, you see all of me and I see all of you. Are we going to accept each other this way or not? And that takes off so much pressure to be somebody that you're not. And it takes out a lot of shame in the things that you feel like somebody else wouldn't accept you for. And yeah, sometimes you can be honest with somebody and they might not accept that. But like I said before, that is a blessing to you, because you should want to be honest with yourself and with the person, instead of trying to hide things from them and hide things in yourself that you're ashamed of. You always want to be honest with somebody, and you want to be honest with yourself foremost, because honesty gives us a choice, and it gives somebody else a choice. When you're honest with somebody about who you are, about what you've done, about what you believe, and when you're really honest with them about that, then you put everything on the table. They can choose as to if they really want to see you this way, if they can really be with you this way, or if they need to walk away. And you always want somebody to have that choice, because you do not want to have to pretend to be somebody that you're not for the sake of somebody loving you. And whatever you have done, I don't care what it is, you're still worthy of love. You still deserve love. And so put it out on the table and wait for somebody who can love you, even with those flaws, even with the things that you feel like you're ashamed of, because you still deserve that. And if somebody can't do that, then that's on them. And that doesn't mean that you should change yourself and that you have to hide these pieces of yourself and separate yourself. Every part of you deserves love, every single part. So the third thing that changed the quality of my life is consistency. Consistency will change your life. It has changed my life. We don't get the things that we want because we give up on trying to get them. Like, that's the most simple answer. We get distracted, we get discouraged, right? Like, you don't meet your weight goals because you work out for 2 weeks, you eat well for 2 weeks, or maybe even a month, and then something happens and you break that consistency. You're in a toxic relationship, and yeah, maybe you stop talking to them for a week or two, and then something happens and you're talking to them again, and you break that consistency. You get a good plan going for yourself, and then something happens and you break that consistency. And so consistency will change your life. The moment you decide to push through, even when you feel like giving up, even when things are difficult, even when you're doubting yourself, the moment that you can just stay consistent, you're going to see results. Consistency and perseverance is what is going to get you to where you want to be. Don't give up. And the fourth thing that has changed my life for the better is me deciding that I was going to treat myself like somebody that I respected, loved, and admired. So I used to put myself down a lot. I had low self-esteem. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't have self-trust. I mean, the list can go on. And the moment that I realized, wait a second, like, I'm just as valuable as anybody else on this planet, and that we all make mistakes, and that I'm not a bad person. The moment that I started realizing that I was worthy of love, and that I should admire myself more than I admire anybody else, and that I should respect myself, I started treating myself differently. The things that I allowed to go on in my head changed. I don't allow myself to put myself down anymore. I don't allow other people to put me down anymore. My perspective changed, because it's like, well, how would I move if I actually loved myself? How would I move if I actually respected myself? How would I move if I admired myself? And I move that way now. I hold my head up high and I speak my truth, and I'm transparent because I don't care if somebody doesn't like it or not, because I am who I am. I trust myself. I trust my decisions because I know that I'm smart. I know that I'm capable. I know that I've proven to myself that I'm gonna get through whatever comes my way. I don't put myself in bad situations anymore. I don't allow people to give me my worth. I don't put my worth in somebody else's hands or in a relationship or in somebody telling me that I look good. I started worshiping myself the way that you might worship a celebrity. It's been fun. I used to be afraid to look in the mirror. I hated what I saw. I used to think that people would think that I was conceited. I mean, there were so many things that I just wasn't allowing myself to be or to feel because I was so worried about what other people were going to think and being judged. And I was judging myself the most. And the moment that I stopped doing that and started thinking like, listen, there's nothing you can do in my eyes that's going to be wrong. There's nothing you can do in my eyes that means you're unworthy of love. There's nothing you can do that you should be ashamed of. Like, yeah, you can make mistakes. Yeah, you can act out of character in a way that doesn't represent your best self. Sure, that's fine. Yeah, you can fail. But none of that means that you're a bad person. And none of that means that you don't deserve love and that you shouldn't get what you want in life. And the moment that I stopped putting my worth in the things that I was doing or the things that I was failing at or the people who wanted me and the people who didn't, I mean, the moment it was like, listen, I'm me and I'm gonna be me regardless, it was like, okay, cool. And that doesn't mean that I don't have difficult days. That doesn't mean that that voice doesn't come back in my head sometimes that tries to make me question myself and question my worth. It does. It comes up because that's what my natural state used to be. And so to change, I'm constantly having to put effort in to correct that voice. But it has gotten easier and it doesn't happen nearly as much. And I'm at a point now in my life where I'm happy to be me. And I look in the mirror and I'm happy to see what I see in the woman that I've become. And I hope that if you're not already there, you can look at yourself in the mirror like that one day too. I hope that you can look at yourself and be so proud at who you are and literally just be so filled with love for yourself with absolutely no shame to it, because you're like, I'm freaking amazing. Like, I'm awesome. And not in a conceited way, but just in a self-assured way, the way that we should be. We should know how amazing we are. We shouldn't need other people to tell us. We should be confident in ourselves. We should trust ourselves. So I hope that you'll take these tips into consideration. I'm telling you, if you start doing these things, it will change your life. I have a life right now that I could not have imagined. I came so far from where I was. It is mind-boggling to me, and it's all because of these 4 things that I listed here and everything else on my channel as well. So that wraps up this video. But if you are on a mission right now to grow your mind and become a better woman, I have the perfect playlist for you. It has everything you need to grow your mind. Make sure you leave a comment of which of these tips you find the most helpful. I love hearing from you guys. I love connecting with you. So I'll see you then. Till next time, be well. Bye.